So today we're going to be reading Monster My Friends, Creepypasta X Beast Listener up in here. So first, before we start anything of reading or anything like that, I want to give a little bit of a shout out to the author for editing and ending for us and everyone else who reads it. And I'm really, or for anyone who's reading it, you know what I'm saying. But thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And hold on, let me show you guys. Hold up. This is what the author has written in the very bottom of it, so no spoiling. But I also thank at my account for Wattpad for the YouTube readout. Found you by accident, but it's interesting. Helped me find a lot of mistakes, and I'm gonna have to go back and fix. And also, I commented back like, thank you so much. You know, obviously, because honestly, I felt so special. I'm so sorry that I felt a little special. And thank you if you're watching this video. Thank you. Yeah. Basically, they didn't want it to have this ending missed. And I really do thank them because, I mean, I wouldn't want to miss any extra part of this story because the story is very good, very interesting, and very well written. And hilarious. Let's not forget, it's hilarious. So, anyways, I'm so sorry for taking up like a minute or two of you guys' time, but let us just shammy back to where we were, which was in chapter 35, which we were magically back in / on. So yeah. Anyways, now we can continue with our usual schedule. But anyways, currently we are in chapter 35, but I'm gonna go back a chapter for the purpose of the recap. So this is very long, obviously, because it is the one of the last missions that we have to do with Masky, with just basically one of the last missions that we were in this story so far. And basically, if you guys don't remember, we basically have to kill / bomb this old warehouse in the middle of God knows where. And we are with Hoodie, Masky, and Toby. And basically, in the beginning part of the chapter, they were kind of looking around the hideout, just basically sketching and breaking down of how they can get in, how they can kill people, etc., etc., etc. The main ones that were doing that is Hoodie and Masky because Toby, as you guys know, he has his tics and makes noises. You know, that's just something he cannot control. Therefore, he's not really the best fit to go and do that silently. And pretty much after that, they kind of came to a halt because they had to agree which way they were going through because they didn't want to. They were going through the front. They want to go through the front door, but it's like crap ton of security. And then at the same time, they found another hidden door, but they didn't want to risk going through that and finding out what's on the other side because they can't tell what's on the other side. So, long story short, they were stuck on an agreement. They agreed on something. We managed to, like, shimmy share our way through along with them. Somehow, we were able to walk on top of a lot of crates and not break them somehow. I don't know how that works. Don't ask me. But, basically, we ended up meeting all together. Right. And, long story short, there's guards coming their way and everything after Masky's and Toby's little disagreement, whatever. And we found a small window. We ended up going all through it. It took us a little bit of time because, you know, we're the monster thingy, whatever. We're like literally a 200-pound fluff ball, literally, quite literally. Long story short, we went through it. Went through some things. They were killing like security guards and distracting them. Just setting a whole little distraction. Toby kind of ended up badly because he ended up going through the security room, which equals an alarm, breach. And long story short, we ended up a bomb accidentally set, and we had to run. And also, not to mention that we did lose basically officially lost one of our eyes. So, which is sad. We do still have one functioning eye, but one of the eyes that was originally damaged was probably permanently damaged. And yeah, then in the end, really just it just kind of came to that. So that was a very long explanation of me having to explain everything. But anyways, now we are officially into this warning. So there will be multiple mentions of depression, parents potentially dead or leaving. Probably I'll mention it. Mentions of homelessness. Stalking will also be mentioned, and I guess a bit of blood and bones cracking and all that. That can always be mixed with that. Also be mentions of heights, really high heights, and people falling. If I have any other warnings or anything that I've forgotten, they'll be on the screen right now. You guys have been warned. In chapter 35, the mansion is buzzing with activity. All the groups manage to return before the end of the week, succeeding in their mission much to Slenderman's pleasure. Everyone looks beat up, covered in dirt, blood, cuts, and bruises. A complete mess. Eyeless is taking his sweet time in cleaning. As I thought, there is nothing he can do about my eye. It's gone for good. Interestingly enough, I am not bothered by it, as some should be. It may be because those around me have more inflictions, some worse than others, or perhaps it's due to the circumstances of how I lost it. Regardless, I have already accepted this is how my life will be. On another note, everyone is enjoying their time dicking around in Slender's yard. It's nice. A beautiful day to rest under a tree with a gauze wrapped over half your head. Slender returned my book first thing when I got back. He didn't look satisfied with what little information he found, but gave up after failing to fill any blank pages. With a smile, I flipped through the last page, carefully and longingly shutting the book and holding it in my talons. I have filled all the pages, read through all the information. It's truly amazing what little I knew about the world. I thought I had been cursed what I woke with a body like this, but this is the most freedom I have felt in my entire life. Seed purred beside me, silently sleeping close. The poor boy is patched with stitches. He had a hard time on the mission. A lot of us did. It's scary to know when there are psychopaths who refer to themselves as the good guys. At least everyone here knows they have a few screws loose. Hey, Tudo. Hoodie kneels beside me, his usual mustard wear removed thanks to the late warm spring weather. Sporting a thin black t-shirt, he clears his throat into his hand, avoiding my gaze as he offers out a tin wrapped hamburger. I know I put it off, but here. Now you can't say I don't keep my promises. I stare at the squished wrapping blankly. He definitely forgot about it in his bag and doesn't want to waste it. Are you really going to justify yourself by giving me this poor excuse for a burger? I glare at him, sticking up my nose at the cold, soggy sandwich. He sighs. If you're mad because I didn't give it to you earlier, I was too busy bleeding out. He drops a sad meal to the ground, standing to his feet and wincing as he stretches. I need to go to bed. The boss sent me on recon, then assigns a whole mission back to back. I haven't slept in 3 weeks. Hoodie, have you seen Toby anywhere? Masky left the small gathering to talk to his partner, visibly uneasy by the absence of their third. I haven't, not since we got back. Shit. Masky's posture falls. I hope he's staying in line. Last time he disappeared, it was because he lit the forest on fire. I'm sure he'll turn up. He always does. Masky didn't look satisfied, but agrees with his partner. The two finish up their brief conversation and leave it for the front door. Done with mingling with the others. I think mingling would be nice. I'm sure the others have plenty to tell. I gently stand to my feet, minding Seed, who had some weight against me. Picking up the gross hamburger, I move it closer to Seed Eater. I may have standards for these things, but Seed will enjoy it. The group is loud, happily conversing about their expedition while sitting around an old picnic table, eating different snacks provided by the slenderman to keep them out of his house. I lay myself beside the table, making myself comfortable as I listened to their banter. It was nothing too easy if you ask me. Jeff's voice overpowers the others, his loud personality drawing the attention. Ben laughs, clapping his hands with mock applause. Oh yeah, totally didn't get your ass handed to you within 3 seconds. Didn't need anyone's help. All Jeff over here. Smile chuckled from under the table. Jeff threw Ben the bird, making the boy laugh harder. You're not the only one who had a good time. I finally got rid of that old man. Jack flashed a toothy grin, looking satisfied with the outcome of the endeavor. They're gonna need a shovel to peel him off the floor. Sally crossed her arms, her lips pouting. Yeah, but we also saw Laughing Jack. Ruined the whole thing. Jack cocked his head, his voice drawing out with her words. This is true. His grin peeked back. He chuckles to himself. Pretty funny you got caught by a priest of all things. The young girl chuckles, a smile forming on her face. The others poked for more info, wanting to get some dirt on each other. It's nice, listening in on their conversations. Obviously, the banter itself is dark and vulgar, but it has its charms. I don't know how much peace I will have around here. Peace, yeah. I don't know how... Yeah, I already read that. Oh my gosh. Now I think about it, I don't think I can stay. I'm saddened by the idea of living alone again. So much of the area burnt, I would have to travel far away from these guys. Great. I made myself feel gross. With a stretch, I leave the group to their talk, admiring the tall trees, the needles on the ground. I feel as though I have a new perspective, one that prevents me from digging too deep into my desires, allowing me to enjoy these things around me. No electricity, no internet, no computers or phones. I have never appreciated the voice of a songbird until now, or the calmness of the wind through the grass. It is beautiful, but I know I will miss my old life eventually. I slid down the bank, breathing in the scent of the large pond, the exact spot the slenderman stood when I first saw him. Funny, really. What should I do now? What are my options? It's been a while since I've looked at my own reflection, without a mask, I mean. With a sigh, I take a seat, retrieving my one and only possession from my fur, running a clawed hand lovingly down its face. This book caused me so much trouble, yet I cannot bear to get rid of it. I frown, clutching the skin lining tight. I have so many regrets. I stiffen, glancing at the surrounding foliage with suspicion. The voice is soft, authoritative, an echo.
Do not fret, unfortunately one.
The book is pulled from my grasp, clattering to the grass below. My heart almost stopped, having it fall far too close to the water's edge for my liking. A harsh light overtook the object, drowning out my surroundings and prompting me to avoid my sight. Hey, be careful with that! I stood firm, not willing to change the damage of my position. Who are you?
The author. I am the entity responsible for the creation of this grimoire.
The voice chuckles at my disbelief.
I am Pazuzu.
I choke at the light as the light faded. The form of an entity my body and soul shook at the sight of. He smiled, his dog-like muzzle flashing at overly extended and disheveled teeth, along gazelle horns parading grotesquely from atop his head, ununiformed and crooked. His body equally as canine, yet the fur thinly covered the scales over his skin. Both his hands and feet were placed as the talons of a bird. The rest of him is human, his ears, his bulging eyes, and he called me the unfortunate one. He seems to be abused by my staring. A gurgling chuckle fell from his jaw, not minding my rudeness as though used to the attention. He looks as though he is enjoying it, in fact.
I had wished to enlighten those who gazed upon my pages. It is regretful it has only been passed through the hands of those who do harm.
His lips flatten, humming disapprovingly.
You are the outcome of that misfortune. I cannot ever fix such a mistake, should you aspire to return to who you once were.
I can go back? The idea is overwhelming. I have the option of returning to my old life. I am ecstatic to hear of that possibility. My joy is short-lived. It's not as though I hate who I am now. Had he asked me a few months ago, I would be all for it. Why didn't you talk to me sooner? He looks away, furrowing his brow.
I could not. The constant misuse of power drained me to the extent of hibernation. You allowed me to recover, for you have not one aspired for the benefits of the grimoire, regardless of your knowledge of its uses or not.
My mind is scattered. There is too much to accept, to comprehend, a lot to think about. Part of me thinks that it would be best to leave, to see my family who must be crushed for losing me, arguing with the other half that I don't in fact belong here. Then there is the thought of staying. I know it will be hard, but there is so much more to see, to experience in this life. Even I have to cry once in a while. Pazuzu hums, placing a finger under his muzzle in thought.
There is no need to decide immediately. No need to overthink your desires. I am the father of those under the West Wings. You are now under such titles. Your form forever engraved on a new page in this book. Know this, regardless of your decision, you are now not only a part of this world, but also the last.
With a bright flash, his form vanishes. The cover of the book flips open. The page is quickly turning with a warm dusk of wind, stealing it on the last blank page, the red ink forming before my eyes, engulfing the parchment with an abundance of information. As the ink ends in a sensation, it's finished with a neat illustration. A large, round, owl-like beast, casually sitting under a tree. My breath hitched. I can feel myself close to tears. This is indeed a permanent decision. My heart knows this, so. Should I stay or should I go? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is, oof. This is Deficier. Now I believe we're going into the endings. Oh goodness. Okay. I'm so excited. Okay. Now, okay. The Stray. This is the human ending. Basically, if you decide to stay, if you want to become human again. It hurts to admit, but I don't belong here. I miss my family, my books. My heart feels heavy when I think about the sadness my disappearance may have caused everyone close to me. However, little interaction we had. With a deep breath, I clear my mind. If I don't go through this now, I may lose my resolve. I'm ready, Pazuzu. I want to go home. I hold the book out before me, my voice just above a whisper. I want to be human again. The book flipped open on its own, stopping in the center and pausing in my hands, as though allowing me to think. To be sure, this is what I truly wanted. A lump formed in my throat. I didn't say anything, closing my eyes to solidify my decision. The book brightened once more. The shining light grew until it enveloped the area. I feel my body lighten, my bones shift painlessly. I begin feeling normal, human, but also very lost. Chancing a look at my reflection, astonished at the sight of my appearance. My face is the same, the hair, the clothes, as though everything I have been through never happened besides the loose bandages hung from my head, allowing the damage from my fight to be revealed, unable to heal even in this state. A forever reminder of what I'm giving up.
I shall lead you to civilization. It shall be quite the walk, so be prepared.
My voice caused me to flinch. It has been so long since I've used my own vocal cords. It is a strange feeling, like waking up from a long, dream-filled sleep. Groggy, sore, so strained. All right.
Are you sure this is what you want to do? You do not look certain.
His quiet voice held in genuine concern. He didn't get a reply. I am walking far to a thin line to change the side I want to fall.
Head east. You shall see a tower in the distance. There is a cabin there. Take what you need for the trip.
I nod, beginning the track to the described destination. The forest area is familiar. It takes my heart far too much to truly examine my surroundings. We had to walk through the burnt-out area I used to camp out in, my tree long since fallen and black. I can't remember a time I sighed my way through a trip, subconsciously following the path given without truly paying attention, tripping over plenty of obstacles and pushing the tears away as I fall. I jump back as a figure disappears behind a tree, nearly missing my sight as I wipe the dirt from my face. Hello? I shift around, scanning the body of trees around me. Another figure pulls back behind a tree, but not before I can make out their features. Masky? A question just above a whisper. It could be anyone, but there is no doubt that the man's unique color coordination I could not mistake. Masky, is that you? My voice is so quiet and raspy, there is no way he can hear me. The feeling of uncertainty creeps up, not my guess of recognition, but of my choice to call out a killer. Pazuzu is on the same page, whispering from my grasp.
Do not speak to them, do not stare. They will ignore you. You shall leave with haste.
I nod, my lips straighten to a thin line, biting the flesh to repress my desire to interact, to finally speak to the people who I've worked with. I turn away, ignoring the subtle eyes on my figure that peeked out from the corner of my eye. Part of me hopes that there is some recognition with the wound. Another part hopes they will not.
Quickly.
Yes, I know. I hung my head as I continued towards the cabin, my feet as heavy as lead. The proxies followed me to the cabin, refraining from entering with me, but that did not prevent themselves from watching from the windows. I can understand why the locals always feel as though they are being watched. All the perishables within the building have long since gone rotten, moldy. Some bugs feasting. I managed to get my hands on some jarred fruits. They look to be starting to go bad, but they have been preserved by a well-contained lid. I think that's enough. I have no way of carrying large quantities after all. Only a single jar and an empty, crushed water bottle I'll need to rinse before using. Pazuzu act like a GPS, leading me in directions I could consider absolute. Absolutely had not been some godlike creature telling me it's the right way. The proxies continue to follow, their presence is getting bolder as the clock ticked. It's getting harder to pretend I can't see them. Then I see it. A break in the tree line. The subtle echo of vehicles in the distance. The city.
This is far as I can take you. I wish you luck.
His goodbye fell silent, a presence slipping into slumber once again. I glance back as I exit the forest, finding my feet on firm ground of an old trail. Both Masky and Hoodie stared back from behind the foliage, silently watching me as I wordlessly nod their way. Goodbye, you two. Don't miss me too much. I sigh. It was nice having some company. Being alone as a beast is one thing. Alone as a human is far more frightening. I am unsure how to go from here. No money, no idea where I am, and no one for comfort. Some of the locals were kind enough to fill me in. I had to lie and say I got horribly lost with no idea how to get home. They were understanding. Apparently, I am not the only one wandering out of the woods with no idea who I was or how I got here. The owner of a motel is equally as understanding, having a room prepared specifically for someone in the same circumstance. He let me stay free of charge with a max of 3 days. The room is cleaner than one would think, only housing a single bed against the far wall. I don't care. I am happy just to have a warm shower. Though I am glad to have some peace, I could feel my eyes sting. I had to lean against the wall as to not slip with my vision blurring. I don't know why, but I just can't help but cry. It could be relief or regret. The tears mixed with the water as I drag a finger across the lid of my distorted eye. I don't think I can sleep tonight. The bed will be far too soft. I am right. I can't get comfortable on the mattress. I feel tangled in the sheets and blanket. The pillow feels in the way. The pillow feels that's in the way. It's horrible. I'd rather sleep on the floor. While shifting, I glanced at the window. I could have sworn I saw someone duck behind it, or across it. It's hard to tell with the moon being the only light I have. The bedside lamp is far too bright for my eyes. I feel so comatose, I could not ignore the passing of the figure, but also the muffled scream that is cut short next door. It just can't be helped. I asked to use the phone in the morning, bright and early. I try to wake myself with the cold water from the tap, but there is no way to hide the bags under my eyes. What will my mom say? She probably won't believe me. I can ask to meet up to prove it, or tell her something only I would know. That's what they do in books and movies, right? My stomach drops as the number is dialed, only for it to go straight to voicemail. That's fair. It's still early. I'll just leave a message. No problem here. Though, I could have sworn my mom had an introduction. Not some robotic voice like this.
Not available.
My mouth
At the
opens
tone,
then closes.
please record
Then
your message.
opened again.
When you
What
have
am I
finished
supposed to
recording,
exactly say?
you may
Hi,
hang
Mom,
up
I'm still
or press
alive?
1 for more
I mean,
options.
that's the most logical start to a conversation. But then what? I explain I turned into a monster? I killed people? So I tell her I became a cannibal for a little while, but that's okay? I hung up without saying a word. She doesn't have to know all that. I'll just stop by the house, tell them I was on a trip and got stuck because I ran out of money, and come up with some bullshit adventure in the Philippines or something. I thanked the owner before I left. I need to get going now if I want to get home quickly. There is no time to spare. I held the door on my way for some officers. They smiled at me, but had a tired look in their eyes. Their vehicle parked in the lot has its lights flashing. I am interested in why they're here. I assume it's due to the scream last night. No skin off my teeth. I'll just give them a statement and leave. The officers were kind enough to drop me off in front of the bus stop, giving me enough money to take a trip to the next town. I feel like they were trying to feel me out, as if I'm a witness for whatever happened next door last night. But thankfully, didn't think anything bad of me and understood that I had nothing more to give them information-wise. I had to get some odd jobs to make up for the money I didn't have, sleeping on the streets to save up. I had hoped not to resort to eating appetizing things now that I'm no longer a beast, but it seems that my taste buds remember the struggle, allowing me to get down garbage found in dumpsters. It's okay though, everything okay. Once I get home, Mom will make me some food, probably my favorite. With all that effort, I finally made it to my hometown. It seemed a lot more boisterous than I remember. Loud, populated, the even sun gives it a harsh glow. I don't like this feeling. It's all just a trick of my mind. I can't help but admire the place I felt I needed to escape. I hated it when I was younger. That's why I wanted to go to college, to get away. A lot of help that did for me. A smile of relief washed over me. There stood my small house on the outskirts, as ragged and as unkempt as I remember. No vehicle lines the driveway, but that's okay. I'm sure they will be back soon. They don't usually stay out late. I took a seat on the steps, sucking in a breath to calm my nerves. I made it. I'm home. I don't know what I will say to my parents, but I'm sure I can figure it out after we had a good cry. The sun has set. They should be home here by now, though perhaps their schedule has changed since I've last seen them. That's what happened, right? Excuse me, are you waiting for someone? An elderly man wobbles past the sidewalk, his cane shaking with his hands. A man so old his eyes sunk into his head. It's going to be quite cold tonight. I'd suggest getting a coat at least. No, sir, I'm waiting for the people who live here. My voice is that of a whisper, nervous. I don't think I recognize this old guy, but there's no way he is not a neighbor. He could not walk this far to the outskirts at his age. He hums, tapping his cane against the ground. That going to be waiting for a while, kid. That place has been abandoned for some time. My heart stopped, a lump forming in my throat. No way, they could not have. Afraid so. Moved away after the news their kid died. Murdered, I heard. Such a shame. I swallow. There's no way. My voice shook. My mouth feels wet. Where did they go? Sorry, no clue. The old man turns away, continuing his way down the path. I'd say they won't be back. Doubt you will see them again. No way, right? This can't be true. I worked so hard for this moment. It is all for nothing? All for this moment of intense disappointment? My hands cover my eyes, tears steaming down through my fingers. It's too much. What now? The walk back to town is gut-wrenching. There is no possible way to reunite with my family. No social media. All numbers changed. All family members scattered around the world. I am at a loss. I rented a room at a local motel with what little money I had left, laying on the disgusting bed while staring at the ceiling. Hate. I hate everything. Why does all the bad shit have to happen to me? My fists clench. My eyes burn, but there are no more tears to cry. I look to my left with a forced smile, glancing at the window darker by the curtain. Don't suppose you guys want to talk. There is a thump, then silence. Am I destined to be stalled by killers now? Perhaps they did recognize me to some extent. I chuckle humorlessly. Perhaps one day they will recognize me. Maybe it'll be after I have a knife in my chest. Guess I should be happy I'm not completely alone. How unfortunate. I don't think I belong there, but now I don't belong anywhere. That is insanely sad. Gosh darn, that is actually really sad. Oh my goodness. Alright, I'll say. This is another version of the human ending. But if you stayed, obviously. I'll say human ending 2. Number 2. I don't know why I'm thinking so hard about this. It's not like my old life was filled exclusively with happy memories. Here, there is no obligation, no pressure from society. Besides, the world keeps turning without YN in it. I want to stay. A small smile pricked at my cheeks. With them, I mean, I don't want to be alone anymore. The book reacted, flipping open with haste. The author spoke joyously with a chuckle.
Your decision sets your spirit at ease. May you never forget and never regret.
He paused briefly.
I do believe I owe you some extra privileges. Being in my control or not, I'm partially to blame for taking away your life.
Extra privileges? He laughs.
You will soon find out.
With a flash, the book closed, stealing in my grasp. I hugged the book tight. He may be partially responsible, but I do not blame him. Those who are at fault are long dead. I glanced once more at the reflective surface of the pond, a new perspective of acceptance. This is who I chose to be, me and no one else. Holding the book in my beak, I hastily make my way back. I no longer have a heavy heart. This is where I belong now. Time to go back. With a smile, I turn around, returning on my path of which I came, now where there will be someone waiting for me at my destination. The first to notice my return is Seed. The beast trotted over the moment I exited the tree line. Though bandaged excessively, he seems happy, content, relaxed now that the stress of the battle has left his body. He bumps his shoulder into mine as he follows me into the mansion's door. A soft, reactive gesture, one that says he enjoys my presence. The front door opens before my feet touch the deck. Slender stood silent as he gazed at the two of us. He sighs loudly, rubbing his brow, an apparent common action for a man with many allies. He props the door open and standing aside to allow us to enter. Do not, I repeat, do not even think of walking over my white rug with your dirty feet. Stay on the tile. Seed and I entered without a word. The beast beside me hesitated before passing the Slenderman, but scampers to my side once more, realizing he will not be rejected like the times before. Slender nodded. Exiting through the door we entered. Everyone involved in the previous mission resided in the living room, besides the proxies who don't appear to be present, chatted loudly, filling the room with ever-growing noise. Jack's sullenly posture rose as he notices our inclusion. Standing from the middle of the couch and wrapping an arm around Seeds and my neck, dragging his sharp nails against my skin for a scratch. I had begun to think you left before us, Fuzzball. Good to know you decided to hang around. He released us, approaching the group once again before halting and turning back. The Slenderman said he would be right back. Would you stick around until then? Jack patted my head, leaning against my shoulder while I'm rummaging through his hoodie pocket. How's your eye doing? With a far-off stare, I nodded. It's the best it's going to be anyways. It will no longer hurt thanks to Jack. A dull throb. He is satisfied with my answer, unwrapping the stained gauze from my face to replace it with a new roll. Jeff, who had stolen another bottle of alcohol from Slender's kitchen, called out to us with a wave and the spilling of the contents of the bottle over the arm of the sofa chair he sat on. There she is. We thought you bailed on us. His voice called the attention of the others in the room, making me the center of attention. Pom-pom! Sally threw herself at my body, wrapping her arms around my leg. Her eyes sparkle, a flush or red on her cheeks with excitement. She opened her mouth to chatter, but is interrupted the hard stomping of feet down and an irritated-looking Masky storming in through the corridor. Has no one seen Toby? His ears red with anger, his hair disheveled with constant attention. Fuck! Where did that dumbass go? Hoodie gently places a hand on his partner's shoulder, having followed the man through the whole mansion in search for their missing third. Masky, give him time. Maybe he went out for a walk and got lost. You know how he is. His words did little to calm Masky's anger. His eyes gleamed, twitching up to our group. Jeff, where's your dog? I need to borrow it. Ben chuckles as Jeff's face scrunched, obviously feeling either offended or disgusted by the proxy's proposal. He answers with a simple sentence. Fuck no. What? Jeff scoffed, glaring. Why should I? Not like he will listen to you anyway. Masky then turned to me, his eyes narrowing. You then. I'm sure you're just as capable. There is no reason to rush. Your incompetence can be fixed privately. The Slenderman morphed out of thin air, standing tall with his hands behind his back. He stared down at his proxies, scrutinizing. Regardless of errors, I thank you for your assistance in removing the rats. Some gateways were inevitable, but it is a minimally acceptable amount. All gazed upon the tall being, almost expectingly. The Slenderman, however, has little gratitude, waving his hands dismissively. You may all leave. I have business to attend to. The room erupted with loud complaining. The loud cries of disapproval are abrupt and startling. My hair pricked. Feathers flared. The Slenderman held a hand to his head, rubbing his scalp with his bony fingers. Can't you all go one day without giving me a headache? He claps his hands. The motion subtle, but the sound stung the ears. The chandelier just above his head shifting away. He looked at us all before speaking once more. As I have said, this is a compensation for residing in these woods. I do not expect any goodwill from your benefactor. He nodded, glancing my way as he scratched his chin. Ah, yes. You have also assisted in this expedition, have you not? From what I have been told, your aid was much appreciated. As thanks, I shall allow you to begin residing in this forest, as long as you behave, of course. My only condition is you visit my residence every full moon, so I may examine you further. He pauses, coughing into his hand. Yes, only to examine, nothing more. I guess that's fair. With a smile, I nodded in agreement. I'm just happy I won't be kicked out. My life is going to be an interesting ride from here on. Whoa, hold on, Mr. Fancy Pants. You can't seriously just let this thing in here like that. I had to do so much more shit to get your permission to live here. A lot of stuff a hell of a lot harder than this. Jeff flung his hands over his head, stating his unfairness and with exasperation. Not to mention the amount of crap this thing will make on my lawn. For all we know, it could be radioactive. Sally cocked her brow, looking Jeff over with a frown. You don't have much of a lawn, Jeff. It's all dead weeds. She pointed at him. And don't you already have to pick up Smile's poop? That's fucking different. A low groan vibrates my throat. I'm getting really tired of Jeff and his overbearing personality. Not only has he threatened to eat me this whole time, he also challenged me to a fight, lost, then acting like it never happened. Jeff sighs. Whatever. With Smile and the rake around, it won't last long anyways, especially now that I only has one eye. And how do you think I lost this eye, you asshole? We all know one more creature in these woods would make no difference. This land is so big you may never see it again. Jack tried to mediate, patting my side as though knowing my irritation is rising. Steam performed from my nostrils. I could feel my eyes dilate, my feathers and hair standing on edge, subconsciously kneading the ground with my talons. That is quite enough, Jeff. My decision is final. You have no say regardless. Slender's voice radiated harshly. He too is fed up with the killer. By the proxy's body language, they share their master's feelings. Jeff dragged his finger at everyone present, his voice loud and high. All of you suck. How did this come back to me? Why are you all defending this thing? It's dumber than Seed Eater. Now listen here, you little shit. Jack is next to point, his clawed hand threatening the killer as Seed stood behind him, growling. My eyes twitches. I want to fling this twat across the room. Shave the rest of his disgusting hair to make him look like a ghost pumpkin. Maybe break another one of his knives. Pom-pom? Sally whispers close to my ear. Let's go play outside. They won't stop fighting for a while. My anger subsides. I could use some fresh air. Get away from all this hostility. Sally opens the front door for me, closing it behind her and barely blocking out the yelling match the group is having. It's no longer on the topic of me, but a simple argument involving harsh insults back and forth. As we took one step away from the door, we can hear glass shatter. Slender's voice erupted once again, screaming about how that vase was a gift. Sally and I looked at one another, slowly tiptoeing away as all hell broke loose. What do you want to do first, Pom-Pom? Mr. Slenderman has a tire swing. It's old, though. He also has a garden. Lots of pretty flowers. She hums, tapping her lip in thought. Her eyes closed. Oh, I know. Jack said you can climb trees. How about we race to see who is faster? I don't know, Sally. That doesn't seem safe. I have no way to express my concerns. Sally has been able to catch a hold of the tree to climb. She can't do so as a ghost unless she intends to cheat in the race she wants. Unless she intends to cheat in the race as she wants. But I doubt she is that kind of kid. My point is that she has to be physical. I worry she will get hurt. The trees around here are thin, capable of snapping with enough weight added. It's okay, Pom-Pom. I'm really good at climbing trees. She faced away, mumbling into her shoulder. Although Mr. Spider-Man said not to. All the more reasons not to. She ran to the tree line before I can do anything, looking back at my taken aback expression while gripping the first few tree branches of the trunk. Come on, Pom-Pom. It's no fun if I get a head start. I am panicking. By the time I reach the trunk of the tree, she's already several feet up, smiling as she grips another branch and pulls herself higher. She looks down at me, flashing her teeth in a closed-eye smile. Look at me, Pom-Pom. I'm a monkey. Yes, you are, kid. Now come back down, all right? She climbs high enough for the branches to start thinning out, her form shrinking with every branch she passes. I pace back and forth with contemplation and anxiety. I fear for her. My heart rapidly pounding in my chest, yet stopping with every small snap of that the tree makes. Okay, kid. You've proven your point. You win. Come back down. I call for her. Small, high chirps to get her attention. She, however, is too high to hear. Wow, I think I can see the town from here. She places her hand over her brow, shielding the sun from blinding her. It is impossible to see anything but trees from here. It takes almost a day walk to see any kind of civilization. Yet I am all for believing her as long as that it will be in the end of her adventure. She looks down at me, her face turning pale. I don't think ghosts can be afraid of heights, yet that seems to be the case here. A fear I can understand. Her fear, however, seems to fill her mind, blocking out the fact that she can float down to safety if she would just realize. Okay, kid, one step at a time. Sally, oh God! The branch under her foot breaks, her balance disrupted and uncoordinated. She shrieks as she hears the snap, screaming as her grip is removed from safety. My body is rigid as my heart stops. For a moment, my mind is blank. My feet begin to move on their own, teetering under the falling kid like my body is capable of rendering her fall harmless. Unfortunately, that is not the case one bit. My soft, fluffy fur won't be able to halt the power of the momentum. My eyes dilate, dilling as I watch Sally fall in slow motion, 2 meters from the solid earth. Ghosts can die again? No, maybe her being will vanish into nothingness. My mouth falls open. If only I had hands again. My muscles tense, bones bend like rubber. The feeling of my skin tearing is painless. Nothing hurts, and the strange sensation vanishes before I can fully register it. My limbs stretched out for the body before me, pulling her trembling form as close to my body as physically possible. I landed with my haunches bent, feeling oddly balanced yet unconfutable. I stared down at the girl. She is shivering, her eyes wet and ready to cry. She looks up to me through her glassy tears, her shivering abruptly ceasing. Who are you? I looked at her confused as she pushes herself away from me. She wobbles on her feet, still filled with adrenaline as she faces me. I stand myself, finally noticing that something is indeed different. Feel lighter, a little less stuffy maybe. Sally looks at me up and down, her eyes lingering on my face and scanning my eyes. Pom-pom? Who are you expecting? I don't think the Easter Bunny can jump that high. I pause. Whose voice was that? It was the words I thought of, but the sound. I look around, glancing at Sally, who stood awestruck. Her mouth moved with a silent way to say wow, but her voice would not come out. Sally! Hoodie sprinted in our direction with haste, alerted by the girl's curling scream. She stopped in his tracks when he saw me, his posture instantly on guard. Sally, come here. Sally glanced at him, then to me, then shook her head. No, it's okay. That's Pom-Pom. He looked at her as though she had gone crazy. No way. Hoodie looked over to me the same as Sally had, staring silently at his hostility as his hostility softened. Didn't expect that. He turned back to the mansion. The 3 of us watched as the rest of the crew made their way over, less urgent as Hoodie had, but with the same purpose and reaction. They mumbled to one another, not allowing me to leave their sight, going as far as to flash a glare my way. I stand confused, just as interested as the rest with what everyone is so interested in. Hoodie notices my lack of understanding, approaching me with no worry despite Masky giving him a swift warning. Hoodie took a hold of my wrist, lifting it to my face without a word. I cock my brow at him. Nonetheless, I look looking my limb over. I can't see what is so interesting about it. It's still scaly, still sharp with talons, yet my hand itself has a different shape. More fingers, just like a normal hand. Normal. Holy fuck! My mind finally clued in. I lift my other hand to my face. I'm smiling as I don't lose my balance as I would have before. I look at my feet in excitement, flexing my shoeless toes that mimic the decorations on my hands. My hands got to my hair, ruffling the long, messy strands that hold a few feathers. I can't help but laugh with joy, looking everyone over who wordlessly stared at the person they have never seen before. I became conscious of their gaze, quickly patting myself down and sighing with relief. I have clothes. A leathery hide coat with a fluffy hood. Very nice, I like. I stand tall, taller than I thought I would be. My vertigo almost kicked. I had to be almost as tall as the other Jack. Looking down at the top of the heads, who were those before me? What? I heard Masky jump back as Hoodie whispers into his ear. He stares back at me intently. This person is Tudo? Every head in the area fell on him. Most of those are surprised, startled even. Friend! Pretty friend! Seed Eater danced on his feet, quickly leaning himself against me and rubbing his face against mine. He looks the least bothered by my appearance, almost as though he expected something like this to happen. Jack looked from Seed, then back to me, then back again. He shoved both his hands into his pockets as his shoulders dropped. He mumbles and "okay then" under his breath and doesn't say any more. What the fuck? Jeff screams over the top of everyone, his gaze up at me with an expression I can't decipher, the unburned side of his face slowly turning red. His mouth open, then closed, then open to spout gibberish I can't understand before V-lining for the front door. I can feel a sharp gaze on the back of my head. Slender's gaze is intense, hostile even. He dragged his finger around the area of his mouth would-be, pointing at me, then dragged the same finger across his neck. Yep, keep the secret or die. Easily remembered because I have already forgotten about the incident. I cleared my throat, talking nervously. Hi. Hello. Seed rubbed on me harder, almost knocking me off my feet, as I have yet to remember how to stand on two legs. Yeah, hey, let's get back to the mansion. I need to sit down. Jack did not wait for anyone to agree as he turned on his heels. It is easier to fit through the door, though I have to slightly duck under the door frame. We all take a seat on the couch. I sat in the middle of the couch, relaxing in the cushions for the first time since I was human. Jeff is still MIA. MIA. His absence is actually welcomed after all the shit he put me through. So, care to explain? Masky poked for information. It seems he is not the only one who wants to know what happened. Not much to tell. I was a monster. Now I am not. I don't answer the question to the best of my ability as I am too distracted by my new body. It's similar to my old one, but it's different enough that I can say I'm unrecognizable. I flash another smile, wiggling my fingers in front of everyone to show off. Damn, I look so cool. Yeah, sure you do. Masky rubbed his masked face, flinching away as I lift the bottom of my shirt. Aw, yeah, you guys see this? I'm jacked as hell. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh. I carefully traced the interesting designs lining my skin. It's similar to the style on the front of my book. Oh shit, my book! I pat myself down once more, sighing as I feel my beloved object in the inside pocket of my jacket. You understood everything going on, didn't you? Jack can't seem to look at me. From the beginning, I mean. I nodded, a little hurt he can't face me. I did, but I could not tell you. My eyes widened. And fuck you, by the way. I'm not fat. Jack snorts, finally looking me in the eye. Yeah. An honest mistake, really? Sally leans over my shoulder, quietly speaking next to me. Pom-pom, no swearing. Mr. Slenderman will get mad. It is true. I shall. The Slenderman keeps looking me over, humming to himself. Perhaps you still have the capability to be trained. I have higher expectations for you now. I force a smile, a little worried about the possibility of his actions changing to a true all-out bisection. Now that you can talk, you have something to say to all of us, don't you? Jack pats my head, a gesture that seems to come naturally but still startles us both. He looks away embarrassed. I'm sure I'm not the only one you want to chew out. Yes, I do. I point to Hoodie, who flinches at my sudden attention. You owe me a hamburger. I'm doubling the quota now that you have tried to pay me off with that poor excuse of a burger. I turn to Masky, who huffs, and you're an ass and everyone knows it. And Jeff? I look around the room. I can smell the disgusting scent of the killer hiding next to the kitchen's pony wall. He swiftly hides himself as I turn to him. Jeff, you're a bitch jerk, and I will eat you if you bug me in the future. When he didn't show himself, I pursed my lips and flipped my long hair. Look, Jeff, I know I'm hot now. There is no need to be embarrassed. Masky coughs, spitting the coffee I had been drinking all over Hoodie's shoulder. His ears turning red. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. The sudden heat from the drink caused Hoodie to flinch, looking at his partner in disgust. Yet he too held no refute, shifting away from my gaze. Sally agreed with me instantly, wrapping in a familiar, comforting hug. It's true, though. Now I am the one embarrassed by Jack's words. I had not expected anyone to agree with me. I curl on myself, covering my face with both hands. Slender sighs, standing from his seat and fixing the wrinkle in his suit. My words still stand. I will allow you to stay as long as you visit. His words held a slight jeer, but also something soft. I feel no threat from his words, more of an accepting, unchanging remark. Make sure you visit C tonight too. Jack stood to his feet, making his way over to the door with Seed in tow. I may drop by your place with some leftovers. Of course, that means you have to let us visit as well. Masky and Hoodie remove themselves from the couch. Masky shifts over to me. We have to go finish the small details for the mission. Let us know if you want to tag along. It'd be nice to have a filler now that Toby is freaking missing. I have to go too, Pom-Pom. Make sure you don't forget about me, okay? Sally sniffs, following the others out the front door. Jeff also attempts to leave unnoticed, failing as we lock eyes. He stutters, throwing finger guns at me. Hey, what's cooking, good looking? He pauses as he looks away from my amused expression. Not that that's for sure. He awkwardly laughs until he shuts the front door behind him. Making companions easily, I see. Slender chuckles, a gruff, light sound. It may not be an easy ending for you to accept, but that is life. I nod, knowing that this is the best outcome I can ask for. You will have to be honest with us eventually. Make sure that when you do, your presence is embedded with the hearts of those around you. It will make letting you go harder. He chuckles, again running his long fingers through my hair, even if that only includes a name. He left me alone in his house, allowing me to relax in my own mind. I look over to my hands once more. There is so much I can do now that I don't have to lug around all that extra weight. This is indeed the best ending, one where I am now not alone. All that's left is to make a home for myself here, a place where I can always go back to, though I guess that's everywhere now. The psychotic people in the forest are my company after all. Honestly, this is actually like this, and they said, okay. This, honestly, I like this. This is nice. I like it. I really like it. It's beautiful and hilarious. But I'm so sorry. I just can't stop laughing. This shit is way too hilarious. Now y'all know which is my favorite ending. This is my favorite ending. This right here is your girl's favorite ending. Until next time, but I think this will be my favorite ending no matter what. Basically, I have to cut it short today because this is probably already past 50 and I already want to internally cry because I had to post an hour-long video recently and I wanted to cry eternally. But I finished one book, so yay! This book is not finished, obviously, but it shall soon. But I don't know how soon. Who knows? But anyways, sorry to cut it short, but I hope you guys did enjoy so far. What do you guys think is gonna happen in the next ending? Will the outcome be negative or positive or both? Let me know in the comments down below. And also, which one out of all out of the endings we currently read, which I believe are 2, are your favorite so far or least favorite? My least favorite was the first one because that is just insanely sad. I would not want to live that way. Depresco Wesco. So yeah, Depresco Wesco, right? But yeah, sadly I do gotta cut this short because I don't want to eternally cry later. But I hope you guys like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more amazing videos, guys. I will have to be putting up a vote very soon. I don't know how soon. It'll probably be either if I end the story or almost ending the story. I'm not too sure. I will let you guys know in the community. So keep your eyes out on the communities to keep updated. If we're gonna have a vote soon or not, don't worry. Y'all shall find out soon. Cause if I do make a vote, I will mention it in the video that I am currently making. I haven't yet, just to confirm, I haven't yet, but I might or might not soon. So we shall see. If you guys have any books or any fanfics or anything you guys would like me to read, Let me know in the comments down below. I'll put that on the vote. And let's see which one shall be the luckiest to be picked. Bye in peace, y'all. Bye in peace.